And good morning, peeps. Good Thursday morning. How are you guys doing today? Let us know in the comments. I'm going to turn this banner off because you know the routine. It's hashtag peeps. So we're going to turn the banner off right there so it's not such a distraction. That way, when you guys comment, I'm going to bring it up right where that banner was. I'm going to go over to that StreamYard giveaway tool, and it's ease the suffering today is the quote we've got going on. I'm going to start collecting those comments in there, so when you comment and you put your hashtag peep in there, we can bring it up and it will be part of the giveaway. And I'm just going to remove it from sight, but that doesn't mean that we are not it's still working. It's still doing the comment tracker, and it's still collecting those hashtag peeps. So today we've got Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm gonna come down a different view here. I'm gonna come down there. It's a juicy one today. So if we love someone, we should train in being able to listen. By listening with calm and understanding, we ease the suffering of another person. Ooh, I think we could do like an hour on this one alone. Thich Nhat Hanh. Let's say it one more time, and then we'll start looking at it line by line. So if we love someone, we should train in being able to listen. By listening with calm and understanding, we can ease the suffering of another person. So if we love someone, and we should love everybody, but especially if we love someone, that one person. And the interesting thing is, I found that by loving one thing, it radiates like that pebble in the pond. It kind of radiates out and touches everyone. So the act of loving someone spreads love to everyone. And we should train, because listening, I think this is interesting, because listening is something you need to train yourself to do. People, we're born with two eyes, 2 ears, and a mouth, right? But to really see takes training. To really listen takes training. To really speak takes training, right? And by listening with calm and understanding, because so often when we listen, we're only listening, half listening to what people are saying, because in our brains, we're already trying to come up with what we're supposed to say, how that what they're saying is somehow a challenge to us. So we tend to not totally listen. We tend to be more reactive. And instead of listening for understanding, we are trying to listen enough to come up with arguments for ourselves about what we believe, and presenting our self-protected spin on the topic, right? But just the art of listening with calm and understanding. And nowhere did that say we must agree with what the other person is saying. We don't need to agree. In fact, we probably won't agree. And the interesting thing is the act of speaking sometimes, the act of listening to ourselves speak thoughts to another person helps us understand what it is that we're really thinking. I think that goes to a quote that we did the other day about how speaking is so important. And this is the other part of that listening, is incredibly important as well. It helps us understand our world. It helps us understand ourselves, not just the other person. But we don't, in being in dialogue with somebody else, we don't have to agree with them. To listen to them, to understand their point of view. And that in itself eases the suffering of the other person. And that creates a dynamic. And that's one of the reasons why I think it's so important for us to have these live stream podcasts where you guys can jump out in and you can give us your opinion. I know a lot of folks are afraid of that two-way street because we have gotten ourselves into a weirdly contentious world where we are afraid of having to deal with the other person's stuff, right? Things on social media have become so contentious. And I know we were talking earlier in the month about those chatbots and how the chatbots, they had to dial them back because they were so mean, because those AI chatbots were getting information for how people dialogue with each other, how they interact with each other from online interactions that can be downright mean because people are not listening. Right? They're not listening. They're not listening to each other, and they're certainly not listening with calm and understanding. And that is an act of love. It's an act of it's a political act, really. And it comes down to that. I see you as a human being. I don't have to agree with you. I don't. But I can sit here and be calm and listen deeply to what you think and who you are. And that is an act that can ease your suffering, and it spreads love. And that can't be too bad. And I know we're about 7 minutes in because this was a juicy one that we wanted to deal with. But I also wanted to prepare you guys that next month, we're coming up to next month. Tomorrow is the last of this slide deck. The next slide deck is going to be April. And April is National Poetry Month. And I've been kind of starting it over at my other channel. And I wanted to show that to you. So, Thich Nhat Hanh, I love this quote. I love you. And we're going to remove you. And I'm going to come back and show you one of the things that I'm doing on my other channel. This is the main channel, and this is what it looks like now. This is where we started with the Chicory Chix coffee clutches over here on the main channel before I was talked into, and I think that was the right decision, into splitting them up into 6 different channels. But one of the playlists on this channel is a podcast. And it's a podcast of stories. These are stories and poems and literature, and some of it is stuff that I've created, but a lot of it is classics. It's going to be things that are in the public domain. And The Noiseless Patient Spider by Walt Whitman is one of those. And so if you look, I invite you to go to the channel and look, and you'll see that podcast and subscribe, because especially for the celebration of March, I'm going to be reading a poem a day. Actually, I'm starting before. Today's was Walt Whitman. Tomorrow is Edgar Allan Poe. This was the first poem that I had to memorize for a class in school, and it was 3rd grade. Shout out to Miss Knutson, who became Mrs. Harwig. That was my 3rd grade teacher. She got married during my 3rd grade. And this is what she's bring a book of poems from home, and I think most everybody had like 100 poems for children or whatever, and I brought in my Leaves of Grass. My mom was a lit teacher, so we had lots of poetry books, and I just loved this poem by Walt Whitman, and I had to share it with the class, and I get to share it with you guys too. So if you head on over to the Startlingly True channel, which is at Lori Sailiata on YouTube, you will find my reading of this. It's quick, but yeah, please subscribe. Especially, I mean, who doesn't need, a poem a day? And that's what we're going to be delivering all of April. And I'm just starting ahead of time because we got the weekend, right? And who wants to start on April Fool's Day? So with that, I will see you all tomorrow because we're out of time. It's as simple as that. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Have a blessed day.